Morning folks, 23rd of August, what is it, 27th visit, something like that. So yeah, we're on the third and final treatment for Varroa, but I've just been watching these for a little while and there's some pollen coming in. You wonder how nature provides it. We've had no significant rain in this part of the country since February. There was one, went in there. Since February, and the plants are still producing pollen from somewhere. It's quite remarkable. I've just been talking to the owners and they're saying they're absolutely heaving with plums, and plums are just full of water. You would think, you know, where are they getting the water from? It's just amazing. We've had a few drops of rain, but nothing significant. There's a girl going in, look, orange and yellow pollen, grey there going in. So that's 3 plant varieties that are producing pollen. Quite incredible. Another interesting, there's yellow. Interesting thing there, you see there's a black beak at the entrance, and then there's orange as well. So you can see the different genetics even within the same colony. Quite incredible how it all carries on. See how there's one that's completely black at the back and an orange one. There are more pollen coming in, bright yellow. Amazing. So we're just treating for Varroa, like I said, for the last time this year. And then we know we've got a clean colony for any babies that are produced thereafter. There's lots of yellow pollen going in there as well. There's that clicking noise again. I don't know why they do that clicking noise. It's really intriguing. Anyway, that's the intro done. I'll just go and get my brush, and because I forgot that, and then we'll start. I've done the smoke trick, so we will be in here in a minute. Still got a fair bit of that left. So they're not starving. That's got some weight in it. Starting to get really heavy with propolis now. Reasonable sized nest from last week by the look of it. But nothing in here. So I'm going to have to get them some frames that have got drawn comb. Got a little bit of drawn comb on it, but not much. It's a bit of a rubbish frame. We'll move that next to it's not really nest now, so we'll start moving it back. That's all stored honey. Look, they're starting to fill this up. There are a few drones in here. So this is now stores. They are in the swing of it, getting ready for the winter. It's all still nest there, which is great. And there. Nice patch of brood right in the middle here, and this side, eggs and grubs. So that is now the nest there. So can you see how it shrinks back as the winter approaches? Whether you want them to do it or not, they do it anyway. But at least we're getting some babies being laid and born. There's our lady here. Nice big frame of brood there. You can see her, hopefully. So that's a full slab of brood there, which is superb. That's enough interference for them. So they want 1 or 2 drawn comb frames really to help them on their way, because they want a full box of sugar syrup really for the winter. But we're, you know, still in August, aren't we? So right, here's your favourite part of it. That's that bit done. That done. Get the lid back on quick. Ugh. Right, I'm not going to mess about with this stuff. That is empty, all by a tiny little bit, so we'll just make sure they can get in there like that. They're still feeding on that little bit. But this is what they're most likely after, is nectar, and I've nearly finished, and this isn't nectar obviously, but I've nearly finished spinning all the supers out, so when that job is complete, I can bring the wet supers down here. Blimey, you had a sugar bath there, missus. You better get out and dry off, I think. There you go. Right, that's that. All done. Marked queen. The nest has shrunk by 2 frames, but you know, that is the time of year for that to happen, so there's nothing to worry about there. Off we go to the next one. I forgot to show you, there is one, we didn't take that out, but there's one varroamite there. So on that whole tray, there's one. I can't remember off the top of my head if there was anything on here last week, but you know, one varroamite over 2 treatments means that colony is clear, in my view. Right, so I've done the smoke trick and I've taken the super off. So we're in here now. Thankfully we've got a marked queen finally in here. So we'll see what state these are in. So that's just pure food. So there's that. Oh, there's still some nest on there, both sides. You see that tiny little bit of nest? Keep getting distracted trying to kill wasps. Alright, so that's open frame. Pretty sure she's laying in there. Yeah, I can just see some eggs down at the bottom. It's a nice open frame of brood. That's all next year's, or the winter's supply of bees. Same here. So there's a mixture in here as well of dark bees and golden bees. So the influence from their grandmother, there she is. Lovely dark queen. That's all filled up with eggs. And there. We'll just have a quick run through here and see where the nest ends, I think, while we're in here. So her egg laying, excuse me, has slowed down a little bit. Oh, maybe it hasn't. That's all full of eggs. That's all waiting to be born. So this lot are actually storing honey upstairs. Yeah, there's some grubs in there. So they're still carrying on as if it's as a food supply and in normal conditions. Same again there. I think the nest has come back by one frame by the look of it, because this did have some drone comb on it, because it is a drone comb frame, but I think, yeah, they've given up on that now. They're just filling it up with honey. So that isn't nest anymore. Oh. You're hungry, aren't you? That's the thing. Hangry. All I wanted to do was take this drawing pin off. You didn't need to attack me because of that. The nutters. So that is a bit of a cure-all now, is clearly the lack of liquid sugar in the form of nectar or syrup is the factor that's making them grumpy. We've got the wind coming in from the west by the look of it, because this smoke is just blowing in my face constantly. What sort of idiot would do that? Right, you can just have a little bit more. So there's a good full box of bees there. That's good for August. Right. Another good day at the office. I'm going to feed these and then I'll get the tray out in a minute. Yeah, that's sort of nearly empty. I'm going to go and get them another one of those, I think. So I'll go and get one of those, and I'll put the liquid syrup in. Otherwise it'll bring them all up. I'll be back in a sec. Right, I've put them a new one of those in, and also I've used up those little square blocks I used in the spring of pure protein. I'll put them one of those in just in case, because that's popular but not massively popular. So they've now got another one of those, full tray of syrup, and that's it. So I'm going to stop the video and take the Varroa board out and see what we're going on with that. Right, here we are. This is another 0 again. I'm going to have to come around the front there, and I can't be long because they've got no entrance now, but yeah, there are absolutely no Varroa on there at all. It's all little bits of detritus and probably bits of wasps that have tried to get in there and got attacked. There's just nothing. So that's one Varroa mite next door and nothing here. So yeah, again, all good. Right, done the smoke trick. I've had a sneaky peek inside the food chamber, and they just need one of those protein supplements. So I just went back to the van to get that. So because I knew it would be needed. And I left the top off the feeder bottle, and it was absolutely covered in bees and wasps. So it's the liquid, the supply of liquid sugar that's causing the issue at the moment, but we sort of knew that anyway from, you know, previous week's inspections. We know that they're short of sugar syrup, and they're desperate to batten down the hatches for the winter. And there's evidence of it, full frame of stored food. Another one nearly there. All right. Another one. So these have got 3. So that was a frame of brood, but now it doesn't look like it is. They're sort of starting to fill that up. So they're pulling the nest forward where the ventilation is. It looks like. A few eggs and grubs in there. Nothing much to write home about, and the same there. But can you see how they're shrinking the nest here? There's a bit of nest in the middle, and then all of this here, all of that round here is all stored honey. So that's how they shrink the nest down. They just use less and less of it. And there she is. Almost like the one next door. Really nice, long, dark body there. Hunting around for somewhere to lay. I have to put my finger in there because I can't see on the camera where she is or what she's doing. So, you know, they're a little bit agitated. I'm just going to leave them. I'm not going to check their whole nest. So everything that you'd expect from a colony is happening in there. We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames of brood by the look of it, which is half a nest, which is, you know, you probably want to be ending up with 3 frames of brood towards the end of the season. You can see how agitated they are for the lack of food. So we'll get them locked up and feed them and look at the tray. There's pretty much nothing in that super, but there was some in the one next door, so. Alright. You'll see now, this is completely empty. This one has sort of got something in it, but just dregs really. It's all gone dry. So we'll put them another one of those in. Give them some syrup. I don't know, I always manage to drop one. There's a wasp that's going to get it. Bye. Blimey, you'll have to learn to swim quick. You lot. Right, that's that. Let's get the lid back on quick. Where have I put it? In here. And then we can have a look at the Varroa board. Come on. Right. I'll just well, actually I could do it while we're filming, actually, it doesn't matter. Nearly got that wasp. Again, nothing. Clean as a whistle. Absolutely nothing. I still think it's the heat. I still think running hives hot is that is the key to it. It's the key to Nosema, all the other things. Everything that they suffer from, I'm sure, is related to heat. I'm pretty sure that is right, and there's a doctor, somebody or other, I've forgotten his name now, who did some research on keeping bees at the right temperature, and you know, all sorts of things that I'll go through it tomorrow, I think, because I've forgotten the names of them all now, but they're all sorry, there's a wasp there hassling me. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's heat that keeps them healthy.